The Legend of Ochi is an adventure movie that is aiming to get the kind of children's fantasy stories we stopped getting a generation or so ago. It is about a young lady named Yuri who is being raised in a hostile world where we are apparently at war of some kind with these ferocious monkey-like creatures known as the Ochi, who rule the forest area at night. When one of the young Ochi is caught in a trap and left behind by its pack, Yuri sets out on an adventure to return the little critter to its family, while also dealing with her own disputes with her parents. The father is played by Willem Dafoe. I am going to begin doing a count of how many times I see him in movies because I have seen him in like 5 movies since I started this channel. I'll never complain though because he's a great actor. He is the pseudo-villain of this story, and for some reason while he is trying to find his daughter, he wears some kind of weird Viking Spartan outfit that looks peak ridiculous. It was a weird outfit to say the least. He has a group of young men he is training to help him in the fight against the Ochi, one of which he adopts and is played by Wolfhard. This is a feature directorial debut of Isaiah Saxon, who also wrote it, and this is maybe the best looking movie I have seen this year. The cinematography is amazing. The beautiful shots of vast mountain landscapes and foggy forests is a sight to behold. I don't think there's one shot in this movie that I think is uninteresting. The look of the creatures is nice too. The one that Yuri has with her for most of the movie is going for a cuteness that wants to parallel the likes of Gizmo from Gremlins and E.T. I like this creature and its design. The creature and the lead girl learn to communicate via its language, and it does a nice job of conveying the friendship being born from this journey. Even though I want to see this movie again just to look at it, and it is a movie that I can't say a single bad thing about on a visual level, the same care of love unfortunately does not apply to the story. This is one of the most confused adventure stories I've seen in a long time, and is a victim to the death by 1,000 cuts problem. The most obvious thing to get out of the way is that it is never conveyed to us what the state of the world is or how we got here. We're just thrown into the adventure with no setup. I don't understand if the entire world is like this and the humans we see are the last bastion, or if this is only a small part of the world and the rest is fine. Everyone drives old cars that had to have been made before 1985, and the picture is going for an older vibe, but I'm not sure when it is taking place. Wolfhard has only maybe 5 lines in the whole film. I would have forgotten he was in it if he didn't just randomly show up and have a camera shot every 20 minutes or so. He's supposed to be some sort of brotherly figure who lost his parents to these creatures, but he is not presented as a sympathetic ally, nor a foil for our heroine. He just kind of is there. I have no idea what the purpose of his character is. Our heroine's mother allegedly abandoned the family when she was young, and somehow miraculously, when Yuri gets an infected scratch wound after an incident at a grocery store, her mother is magically the one who rescues her and explains why she is able to communicate in the language of the creatures, while also foreshadowing the ending when talking about a song spoken in unison. I'll leave it at that. We are told that Defoe's character forbid the mother from interacting with her daughter, but except for one sequence near the end, it is brought up for a moment then dropped outright, like many things in this movie. There are so many dangling threads and no resolution to any of it that it makes me feel like I'm watching some beautiful images that amount to absolutely nothing. The thing that made E.T. so special was the relationship between Elliot and the creature that escalates organically through the life happenings, and they build a bonding of trust and care. You like them being friends. In The Legend of Ochi, there's 2 heartfelt moments involving a caterpillar and one with them realizing they can communicate. But other than that, I didn't feel any organic growth in their friendship. Yuri is basically a blank slate of a character with no real personality. I wouldn't mind that if everything around her was vibrant and filled with life, but no one around her is full of energy. Even the action seems devoid of tension and life. I love the look of this movie so much, but I wish the story held up the other half of the equation. But it just doesn't, sadly. I'm trying to look at this from the perspective of both an adult and a child. As a child, the dazzling visuals will be captivating and fun. The creature friend will be fun to see and is sweet enough with how it handles the relationship that it might make some kids happy. As an adult, I think the film has actors who I don't think have a clue who their characters are or how and why they act the way they do. But the one thing that great adventure films like the ones I already mentioned, as well as other movies this movie is borrowing from, such as Goonies, have that this one doesn't have is energy and sincerity. If you want to see one of the best looking films of 2025, then let your eyes feast on this beautiful picture. But if you want substance as well, then I can't recommend this to people. To Isaiah Saxon, you did a great job filming your movie, and I'm so glad you were willing to make adventure movies that we stopped getting a long time ago. But one of the biggest things that's been plaguing the movie industry for many decades is weak writing. So for your next project, please focus on that just as much as your visuals, and I think you have the potential to make some true magic on the screen. This is an admirable first attempt, but weak stories can only be dressed up with beautiful images so much before we realize that there's nothing going on under the hood. I give The Legend of Ochi 2 stars out of 4. There is a great eye for camera work in this movie, but a story that is confused with what it wants to be. A very beautiful yet empty piece of work. Okay, so The Legend of Ochi. What is everyone's thoughts on this? Please let me know. I'm glad A24 took a swing at a children's fantasy story. We haven't gotten many of those in years, so at least someone is finally trying to revive that genre, even if it wasn't fully successful this time around. Anyway, if you like this, please like and subscribe. Follow me on social media if you like. And until next time, I am Ghost.